Old souls, young souls, and all my damn souls in between. Welcome back to another week of Old Soul in the Young World here in a Vibe podcast studio.
It's a vibe.
Hey. And we're here with a Vibe podcast team member.
Hey, what's
Are we
going
not
on?
so lucky tonight? Mr. Richie, Mr. Shot4.Shot, Mr. Shit. I don't know all your tags.
That was good. What's going on? How are you?
What's poppin'?
Happy to be here. I'm excited.
Yes, I'm excited. We've been wanting to do this for a little bit.
For a while, yeah, for sure.
Can I fill your cup?
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Hey.
Thank you.
Of course.
No, I'm excited to be here. I'm definitely a fan of the show.
We're fans of each other.
Yeah, hell
That's
yeah.
how we all came together, guys.
Yeah.
If you've seen our, I think when we very first got together, I had a couple of you on my podcast, or I went on your podcast, either way.
Yep.
But we chopped it up about our stories. So if you want to know how we all came together, go check that out.
For sure.
But a brief little description for people who don't know. Richie is a part of a Vibe podcast studio. He is one of the founder, co-host, podcast team members out of 5 of them. And, you know, we've been building, growing, and they've been helping me produce and come up and do my own podcast. And also, as of, you know, recent since I met you and, you know, currently you have been very much into photography.
Yeah.
Which is super dope.
Yeah.
I don't think when we met you were as much.
No, I definitely was.
Were you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you were, yeah. But you're even more so.
Yes, it's definitely grown throughout the years. Actually, just year, because I've only been doing it for like a year.
Since like COVID.
Since COVID. Oh, okay. Yeah. Really quick. You know, COVID happened, and then the lockdown happened, and
Gotta find something to do at your time.
you
It's
know,
like, whew.
I'm the type of person that needs to just, you know, stretch my creative muscles.
Yes. Always growing.
Always. And so at the beginning of the podcast 2 years ago, I had the duty of creating the art covers.
Oh, you were the one?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. I mean, everyone did it.
Yeah.
But I guess I was
You are assigned.
I was tagged
Yeah.
for doing it. And then it got to a point where I got tired of just ripping off Google, just going on Google Image and
Yeah.
then just messing around with it. I was like, I want to do something original. I want to do my own.
That's what I was doing at first with
Yeah,
mine. I was
yeah.
literally like cutting. I'm picturing a Martin Luther King when I did, and I literally cut a picture of him off Google, cropped
Yep.
it, and like put it on a little thing. I'm like, yep, this is good.
Yeah, exactly. So that obviously got tedious. Like, oh, this is not it. So I got a camera during the lockdown, started taking pictures, started doing my research, self-taught. YouTube is
YouTube is
way
your
to
best
go.
friend.
I'm telling you.
If you want to learn some new
You
shit.
can learn whatever you want on
I
YouTube.
learned this whole podcast. Well, before I met you guys, like
Yeah.
when I didn't know anything, I literally was in my bed searching up podcast videos. I was like, how do I use Anchor? How do I use Spotify? How do I distribute my podcast? What's a podcast distributor? Like,
know
do you know
what I
what I'm
mean?
saying?
Yeah.
If you looked at my searches, it's just like, yo.
You gotta, you teach yourself. And I learned, and you know, trial and error, a lot of errors. I finally got there, and then like almost a year hit. I upgraded my camera,
Hey.
and then that was it. That was
There
it.
you
I was like, I had to build my portfolio, start hitting up people, and you know what? I have to thank photography for really like pushing me out of my comfort zone. Because I was definitely the type of person who didn't want to talk to new people. I didn't want to like.
So weird. I don't even see that in you.
I know.
Like, yeah.
It's weird. It's weird. I used to be like super shy.
Yeah.
Super shy. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do photography. I don't have to talk to anybody. Right? I'm just taking pictures.
Right behind the lens.
And I was dead wrong.
Yeah.
Dead wrong.
Yeah.
You have to be
That's a cool ass
social.
point. Yeah, you do.
You have to be social.
It's not just about like having a
Yeah.
camera. You
No,
know?
it's not.
'Cause anyone can.
You have to have that connection with people.
Yes.
And I know what it feels like to be uncomfortable in front of people that you don't know or people that you're just not familiar with.
Yeah.
And so I made it a point that if I'm taking pictures of someone, I would make them feel comfortable. Mm-hmm. And so,
and I feel like when you're uncomfortable, like you're already like, I don't mean to speak for you, I'm speaking for myself, but growing up, I was the same way. I was kind of an introvert. So I was always awkward. So it's like, I already knew how it felt to feel like on the outside or awkward or uncomfortable. So whenever ever, and maybe that's why, like, I've had multiple people tell me, oh, when I come in your podcast, you made me feel so comfortable, you made me feel so welcomed, and I'm like,
that's the key.
It's just because I feel uncomfortable. Do you know what I'm saying?
I know the feeling. Like I hate the spotlight. I don't like when like all eyes are on me. Like even to this day, but you learn to deal with it.
You do. Yep.
And so again, like I made sure that whoever I'm taking photos of, they're like comfortable. Mm-hmm. And that definitely shows in my my work.
But I feel like if you didn't like push yourself out of that boundary and try to do that, you know what I mean? You would have never known this amazing talent you have, like, or how far you could take it. You know, because I think COVID forced you to kind of face like, okay, what else is it that I do? Because you're a great podcaster. Do you know what I mean? You have a great voice. You're a great speaker. But there was clearly something else that you needed that was supposed to fulfill you and push you like, yo, what is that for you? What is that limit? You know what I mean?
For sure.
And you weren't there. Like, and I feel like photography showed you, you're not at your like full potential yet. Like I have a whole nother world for you, boy.
Yeah, for sure. That's a good way of putting it. Yeah, I've always been a creator though. I've always been a creator.
Yeah.
Shout out JQ.
Hey.
Him and I met in high school and
who was it?
Who? JQ.
Oh, JQ.
Yeah, man, that's my
Shout
guy.
out JQ.
Him and I go way back I remember back in high school, like we used to have like make up like these stories and just with these characters and like this background. It was very, very.
It's having that imagination. You know?
And so, photography is definitely like I think it so much because it's way more than just taking pictures.
Yeah,
it's definitely molded me into the person that I am now.
And like, just for myself, like and we've talked about, like I have a camera. I bought like whatever. It's like a decent camera. Back in the day, it was like, oh, it was a good one. But just because I bought a camera didn't mean that I was a photographer. I liked taking pictures. I enjoyed like having the camera and doing like going out, but I didn't have that eye. Do you know what I'm saying? I feel like it's like a lens, like you, like almost like a contact that you like could put on.
It is. But that's the thing, like, all right, so for you to say that you're not a photographer, I mean, I'm going to stop you there and say that's a lie. If you have a camera and you like taking photos, what does that make you? A photographer.
An amateur photographer,
you know
relax.
What I mean? And that whole eye thing, like, I mean, you got to stretch it. You got to work. It's just like, it's a muscle.
Yeah.
It's a muscle. The more you use it, the better you get at it. And then so on and so forth. That's how I think of it.
Yeah.
So.
And do you feel like, I mean, I'm sure other photographers listening and maybe they have a different opinion, but do you feel like your subject matter, like your choice of like what you want to take pictures of has changed since when you started like picking up a camera to now? Or has it kind of been like a consistent subject that you were interested in?
No.
Because that always intrigues me. Like, I'm like, how do people pick what they want to do? I don't know, like, go on. I'm sorry.
So when I first started photography, obviously there's like categories of where I could go with this.
Yeah.
Street photography, landscape, portraits, product photography. And at the time I was like, I want to do it all.
Yeah.
I want to do every single one of them. But I was new. I'm not going to hit up, my boys like, hey, let me take pictures of you. By the way, I don't know what I'm doing.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, facts.
So at the beginning, it was definitely a lot of like landscape, a lot of street photography, because you could just take your time. You're just by yourself. I had music on. I just had my camera and I start shooting. It's like, all right, that's overexposed. That's underexposed.
You didn't have to talk to anyone.
I didn't talk to nobody. And so I would just learn on my own. But, as the months kept rolling along, I found that I like taking portraits. That's what I really like. And I know that because I've tried to take landscape / street photography, and it's just not hitting the same as it used to.
Yeah.
And again, it's funny. I like that connection with people. I like talking to the person, not the subject. You know, move like this, move like that, move your hair.
Right.
Always communicating.
Right.
And that's what I like. Yeah, that's for sure. That's like, aside from like taking the photos, that connectivity. With
and it
people.
captures like emotion. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though, I mean, landscape is beautiful and there can like, if the sun's setting in a certain way and it's hitting a light and like, you know what I mean? It is
gorgeous.
just as beautiful.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Could make you cry. Like, you know, like a sunset on the ocean. Like, it's just the colors are crazy. But somebody's like facial expression, like something you can capture, like in just that moment. Like, so actually, I have to shout you out, Shot4.Shot. Follow him on IG. If you guys have me on IG, I put out a couple pictures that we did of a photo shoot, and it was just so dope. Like, I have a couple points to touch on of it, but one thing I want to say about the expression is like, and I even said it in one of the pictures I put up, I don't even like pictures of me laughing like that. Like, I always feel like I have to have like a serious face or I have to have like a certain smile, or like, I'm super picky about my pictures. You know what I mean? And even though the pictures you took of me were so beautiful, I even still had personal trouble just like accepting like how raw it is. But I'm like, yo, it took me a couple days, right? I looked at the pictures. I was mad judgmental of myself, not of your photography skills. Because I think that's something I would like to talk about too. Maybe on like tonight on the podcast, like the difference between maybe how a subject feels about a picture and how a photographer feels about the same picture. Okay. Like two different perspectives on it. But just like within myself, when I looked at them first, I was judging myself. And then I realized like, wow, like you literally captured me laughing in a way that I've never even seen myself laugh. It's like, I know that I laugh and it's like whatever, but you don't see, or you don't have a mirror in front of you all the time. You don't know what you look like. You know what I mean? It's like, we were genuinely talking when we took that picture and I had started laughing and you just snapped it. It's not like we were like, oh, do like a funny laugh, throw your head back. You know what I mean? Like,
so it's those in between moments.
Yeah.
That's
exactly.
I mean, and it happens literally like that.
Yeah.
So you got to be quick with it, or at least look out for it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
but it was our communication that had made that shot happen. Like, if you were quiet, I don't know, I might have been awkward the whole time. You know what I mean? Like, I could have just been like a little huddled.
But I've learned to do that. I've learned to continuously like conversate with with you. And as long as you have that open conversation, that open communication, everything's gonna work out smoothly.
Yeah.
In the back of my mind, it's a game. To be real with you, it's a game. Me talking to you is to loosen you up, but as I'm telling you how to pose, in between each pose is my shot.
I feel you.
So, and then, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so that's the magic. It's that human connectivity. It's the human expression.
Exactly.
It's when you look at a photo, you can relate to it. You feel something. You smiling in those photos, whoever's looking at those photos can see the genuine happiness that you have in those photos, and then it makes them smile.
Right.
Because then they look at it a little bit longer.
Yeah, so exactly.
So that's what it is.
And I don't know. I just want to thank you too, because as we both know, I told you when I got there that night, I was uncomfortable. You know, I'm shy. Like, even though maybe people think, you know, oh, this girl does this podcast, she does all this stuff, like, oh, you're super confident and outgoing. Like you said before you got into photography, like, just because maybe somebody thinks you're outgoing or you do things that might make you seem that way, like, you can still be introvert and there can still be things you have to work past, like, you know, communicating with people and getting past that barrier. For me, I had to always push myself past that barrier. It's like, yo, I did things my whole life that made me uncomfortable. You know what I mean? So that night when we did that shoot, I was uncomfortable, but you made me feel like it's okay. Yeah. It's okay to be uncomfortable because something good is going to come from this and something great came from it.
I feel like, uncomfortable situations or anything that kind of pushes you out of your comfort zone allows you to grow out of it.
Right.
And even that day at the actually, I won't even say where it was. That's a secret.
Undisclosed location. Go check my IG.
even like that day, like, I mean, truth be told, like I was nervous too.
Yeah,
I was nervous too.
Because it's always a different. You don't know how the experience is gonna go. It was the first time we worked together.
You know what I mean?
You know,
I know. Not to toot my own horn, I know people like my work, and when I'm taking photos of a new person, they're expecting that the photos are going to turn out fire, and that's pressure. That's pressure on me. But I have to kind of psych myself out and say like, don't worry about that.
Yeah.
You're there to do your art. You're there to have fun, and as long as you're having fun, the pictures are going to come out fine.
Yep.
So you need to chill out. That's
and then
me.
like correlating, like me talking to myself, I'm like, yo, like, I know I just got ready. I know my hair's done, my makeup's done, I have my outfit ready, but like there's still that self-conscious part of me that's like, I can't do it or I can't whatever. But I'm like, no, but it doesn't matter how you look. It's the genuine expression that comes from what you're doing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm never going to be perfect. I'm never going to look airbrushed in a picture. I'm never going to look perfect. Magazine pictures, like for everyone listening in, like they're all edited. You know what I'm saying? Like we have to realize what we subject ourselves to. And it's like, that's the thing about the pictures. At first I was picking every detail. I'm like, oh my God, you can see the hair on my arm. You can see this freckle that I didn't want shown. You can see like that crease in my armpit area. Do you know what I'm saying? Like those weird things that nobody else would ever notice.
And that's definitely something that I focus on, is that whole like idea of like picture perfect.
Yeah.
That's not to me
it's
personally.
fake.
It's not real. It's not real. It's not.
It's not.
And
But our culture makes it seem so real.
Yeah.
The airbrush image of like the Kardashians. That's what our culture makes everything. I'm so sorry, but it's true.
Unfortunately.
It's so true.
So I definitely want to make sure that I showcase real emotion, real people in an artistic way, and I want to make sure like anybody can be in a photo. Anybody.
Right.
You know, you just have to come out your shell.
It's that vulnerability.
And that's definitely the vulnerability.
Like being a subject.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like you've been a subject before. It's not
have.
like you're just behind the lens all the time.
No. So I've been coming in and out of being like a model / subject.
Yeah.
And it's a completely different world because it's weird because you're not in control. And letting someone else be in control, telling you how to pose, what to do with your hands, especially the hands. Like what
The hands are always hard. I'm like baby dinosaur. Like I don't know what to do with my hands.
It's crazy. So that's definitely like another thing, another comfort bubble that I definitely need to pop. Just so I can recognize what it's like to be on the other side.
Yeah.
So that's definitely something that I'm striving for or working on.
Like that's a cool thing too, like being an artist, like realizing the other person, like in the other person's shoes. And I mean, I guess now's a good time to bring it up, but like we were talking about like how a subject feels versus how the person behind the lens feels. You know what I mean? It's like a similar vulnerability, but also like very different. Like as a model, even if you're an experienced model, you might still like go to a shoot feeling like, oh damn, like I don't know if the pictures are gonna come out good, or they're expecting me to look like this, or they want, we're all human. What if you get a breakout that day?
Right.
What if you're having a bad day? What if your hair doesn't fall the right way that day?
Right.
Like,
what I'm saying? Like,
and you have this pressure on you, but it's like when it's for fun, when it's for art and creating, I feel like it doesn't like need to be like that. It should just be about what we said, like genuine expression.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
But I think, it is like, it's different being when you're looking at like when we took the pictures, I was nervous to hit you up because I didn't like some of the pictures that you liked. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's also like,
and that's okay.
And that's fine.
That's completely okay.
Right? Like I feel like it's okay to be honest with each other.
Art is subjective.
Right.
1,000%.
Facts.
So, and nobody should take it to heart either, especially any artist that's putting out work for someone else for free. If it's paid, it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
But for free, like it's all subjective. If you don't like them, cool. I like them.
Right.
We happy? cool.
And that's the thing I think too, like just realizing there's two different perspectives. It's like you could be like, oh my God, this picture is so fucking dope. And I could just be like, yo, I hate this picture. Like,
it's all opinionated. It's all opinion. And then kind of back to what you were saying about like being nervous, whether if it's a photo shoot, or whether if you're the photographer or the model or any type of art form, that pressure that we put on ourselves, it's made up. It's just something that you've made up in your head, or it's a fear thing.
Right.
And then you try to make sense of that fear, but it's all made up in your head. That's why I say to myself is like, literally, like, just have fun. Like, Jess, just take pictures, bro.
Right.
And then that definitely like evened me out.
Yep.
So.
And like same for me, it's like, oh, I'm thinking of like a work thing. Like it's like, oh, is Richie gonna hate me if these pictures come out bad? When I know we're both just doing it for like a fun enjoyment thing, hopefully to build our portfolio and do a promotional type vibe.
For sure.
And and that's the dopest. Like if you have somebody in your life who's willing to do like a project with you like that, just do it just to get yourself out of your comfortability and build something new. It's like you don't know until you try. Imagine if you never picked up a camera or you didn't try.
You know what I mean?
Or when you got discouraged, you're like, fuck this, I'm gonna stop. Like,
and there's been definitely a handful of times where I've felt like discouraged. I was like, you know what, this I can't do. No, fuck this, I can't. Yeah. But no, like, so I'm 31 years old. I've tried like all my 20s. I've been trying to feel like what's my spark, what's my itch, what's my passion. Like I don't know. And it was just something that I beat myself up about for like the longest time. And then finally I think you found I guess my passion. Taking like if you like talk to me back when I was like 22, it's like, hey bro, you're gonna be a really dope photographer. I was like, fuck you.
You're like,
dude.
what?
Get the hell out of here, dude.
Yeah, right.
Photography?
Stop talking shit.
Girls like photography. No,
yeah.
I'm good. But nah, I mean it's everything to me.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
That's dope.
Yeah, man.
And like, are you open and willing to do projects with different people? Are you set on a certain like project right now, or are you kind of what's your what's your vibe right now?
That's a great question. So right now I guess so short answer is no.
Okay.
I'm just free flowing. Whatever comes my way, whatever. Okay, ready? Whatever inspires me is what I go for.
I love it.
Anything and everything that inspires me, I want to take a picture of. If I'm inspired about, a whole bunch of people dressed like clowns, I'm taking pictures of that. Like, that's it.
Yeah, so you're not setting a limit for yourself.
No.
Okay.
No.
Like, I know some people are just very specific. In what they do. Like, I don't know, I keep thinking in my head to my friend Marlon, who I also have had on the podcast. Shout out Marlon O. You can go check that one out. But his photography, like, at least as of late, he gets a lot into texture. He has like a thing about taking pictures of texture, so like lace type or like silk clothing or fuzzy like fluff like material. Like, so he's into textures, and then he's into boudoir.
Okay.
I guess is that the word?
Yeah, boudoir.
Is that how you say it?
Yeah,
okay. So I don't know. I think some people maybe have, but then he goes outside of it. Like we were walking one day and he like took a picture of the mask on the ground. And I was like, oh, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I want to do this like collection of an art project where it's fallen masks, like since we're in like COVID and like, I'm like, where the fuck? Like where did that idea come from when you always be taking like texture shots and beautiful, like it's a lot of like model women and stuff like that. So I feel like you have to find your niche, but not limit yourself.
Yes.
So
you definitely, for me personally, or maybe any photographer, the photos that you want to take, you have to take them in a way that people don't see on a day-to-day basis.
Yes.
That's what it is.
Yep.
Great examples, the photos that we took. How many people asked you, like, how did you like?
Can we say what it was without saying where it was?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
So it was like, it was a car wash. For anyone who's seen the pictures.
Yeah, it was a car wash.
And it's dope. Like, you don't even know. It's like these cool, like arched ring lights are like all behind me going back in this like really dope pattern. I don't know. But like, and I was wearing like leather pants, and then the like material was shiny on the poles. I don't know. It was just like
It's the vibe.
It was such a vibe.
It all comes together.
Yes.
And it's funny that you were saying about Marlon. He was like, he's really into texture. I think I really like matching vibes, if that makes sense, and colors.
Okay.
So
speaking my language,
you know what I
vibes
mean?
and colors.
Vibes
Yes.
and colors. Most recent photo shoot that I did was with Nicole. Shout out Nicole.
Shout out Nicole.
We did it at the Salem Depot garage.
Oh, with
park.
the yellow jacket.
Yeah.
Oh, those pictures were fire.
You know what I mean? So it's those like little.
What's your Instagram plug again?
Oh, Shot4.Shot.
Is that SHOT?
Yeah, 4.Shot.
Okay, I knew there was a period in there somewhere. Yeah.
Damn, I forgot what I was saying.
Nicole, the pictures.
Yeah. So, and then she had like this yellow kind of like jumpsuit. I was like, oh wow, look at, like, what if we go upstairs? Like, this whole wall. Like, let's match it together.
Oh, you said the vibes and the colors.
The vibe. Okay, I guess it's the feeling that you get looking at the pictures correlates with the colors. It's just another layer. The colors is just another layer to whatever it is that you feel looking at the photo. Because that's what I want. I want you to feel whatever it is that you feel.
Yeah.
As long as you feel it.
I appreciate that.
So
I appreciate that a lot.
That's what I like.
And, you know, in a whole nother expression, I feel like, you know, vibes and colors in general is such a artistic, creative, like, sentence, because, like, I feel that way about painting. Like, when people would want me, if you asked me, like, what my painting was maybe like 5 or 10 years ago, I would say abstract. I did abstract painting. As I kept painting, I realized it wasn't always abstract. It would be like portraits of people's faces, but I would just do different colors.
Yeah.
I would do colors so if it was like Biggie Smalls and he's dark skinned, I would do like purple, blue, and red and some yellow for highlight. You know what I'm saying? If somebody heard that, they might be like, what the fuck are you talking about? But like, to an artist, you're like, oh, that makes sense. You got the dark with the light for the yellow for the highlight. Like,
or even like, even if it's someone's looking at your art, even if they question why, even that's good to me.
Yeah.
Like, why did you do this?
Yes.
And then they look at it and they just try to like dissect it.
Yep.
It's like, oh, but this and that, and look at the details. What if you zoom
sometimes
in?
there's not an answer.
And that's so dope. That's my that's like another favorite thing is like, maybe there's no answer. Whatever answer that you come up with, that could be the right answer for you.
Facts.
You know?
Yeah.
Whatever it is that you want.
100%. And so we actually talked about this a little bit off the mics, off air. But I know that we're trying to plan a future shoot right now. So we're kind of talking about ideas and what we want to do and how we're going to figure that out. And I'm always like, what's the outfit? Like, what am I going to look like? And Richie's always like, what's the location? And like, I'm like, yo, what do you mean though? Like, I need to know what I'm wearing so we can know the location.
Yeah.
You said you felt a little differently though. Like, you kind of in your mind go off location or what you see. Is that kind of what you were saying?
So that's the thing about me too. It kind of goes back to what I was.
Different.
Everyone's different.
You know?
It kind of goes back to what I was saying is that I'll go and find locations, and then based on like the colors that are around, I'll like suggest like if you have a fit that's, you know, red
Close
or
to like
blue
this.
or this, whatever it is that you bring to the shoot represents you.
Yeah.
For me to tell you what to wear, it's not you. I want to capture the person, not what I think the person should be.
Right. Exactly.
That's another thing. Like magazine shoots,
I feel like it's so planned. It's like you're wearing this, your hairstyle this way.
You're
like,
being someone that you're not, and that's not what I want. I want you to be you. I want to capture you.
Right.
I want to make sure that your essence, your aura is reflected in the photo.
Yeah.
And that's what I want.
That's dope.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when people look at it, everyone has a different opinion or
feeling. Yeah. And I think that's a huge thing about photography. It's supposed to be a feeling. Like when you see a picture, it's supposed to invoke something within you, whether that be a negative feeling or a positive or make you laugh or whatever. Like that is the core point, I think, of photography in general throughout history. Why did people back in the day when we have black and white cameras start taking portraits or photography or whatever? I don't know what you think, but I feel like it was to capture and portray emotion. That's why photography even came to be.
Absolutely.
Because how would we freeze those moments? You know what I mean? Like
you're 1,000% right. Great example. JQ took some photos of me back in the day, and it was black and white. He had this whole vision. He was like, "All right, you have like this long pea coat. Wear that with a white shirt, sunglasses, and like a fedora."
Hey.
And, I put it on. I did a few poses, and then when the pictures came out, I was looking at them. I was like, that's not me. But that's fine because that's his art style.
Yeah.
When I looked at those pictures, I'm like, I don't know who that guy is in that photo, but whoever he is, he looks bad as fuck. He looks like a bad man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so
like, that's not who I am.
That's not who I am, right?
I feel you.
And so,
even if they were dope pictures.
But it's like, I don't know if it was me or anything, but when I was looking at those pictures, I felt uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. But even if the feeling is good or bad, the point is that you feel something.
Yes. I know what you mean.
You feel something. I felt uncomfortable looking at those black and white pictures.
Yeah. Because
I literally looked like a 1950s assassin. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're like, this is literally not who I am.
But the pictures,
they were dope.
They were so dope.
Yeah.
They were so
like
dope.
artistically.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So dope.
Is that like one of the ones you have on your IG?
The IG.
Yeah, like your icon?
Yes, the icon. Yep,
okay,
that's
what I thought.
That one.
They are
funny.
fire pictures.
They are fire.
Yo, I'm about to call you out on the podcast. I'm about to call you out on the podcast because I said it to you when I was drunk the other night at Baldwin's birthday.
Yeah,
Did you post the goddamn Rico Suave picture?
I didn't.
Is it the same vibe? You don't feel like it's you? Yo, guys, everyone on the podcast, hold on. You shut your mouth for a second, Richie.
Here we go.
Richie is on a boat looking like a fucking god in his fucking open t-shirt. He's got his curls popping. He's got his glasses on. He's driving the boat like the fucking head honcho.
You know what I mean?
Who was it? Sam who got this picture of you?
Yeah, it was Sam.
Shout out Insta Sam. Sam took the dopest picture of Richie driving this boat. He looks like Rico Suave, Papi Chulo over there, and he will not post this fucking picture. And I said to him the other night, you better post that goddamn picture on Instagram.
Should,
and it's
right?
still not up there.
It's not.
It's going to be up by the time this podcast drops.
I think by the end of the week, I'll put it up.
Yo, I just called you out so.
Yeah. No, it's all good. No, that person that you saw in that picture, that's me.
That's you.
That's me.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, yo, I know that's you. You better post that shit.
That's me
Yes.
for sure.
He's Papi Chulo. You guys heard?
Let's
Y'all heard?
Let's get it.
Hit him up. Shot for shot.
Hell yeah.
Is that like shot for shot? Like you take a shot, I take a shot? Or like you take a picture, I take a picture?
I got to change my IG name.
No, I love it.
No, because the whole idea of Shot for Shot is the idea is that I was going to take a picture of, whatever, and then take the same picture, but like I don't know, just
remix it?
Remix it. That's what I was going to, so it was going to be a shot for shot.
Can you give me like an example?
So let's say I'm taking a picture of like the sunset, right? I take a picture of the sunset with the nice yellows and oranges and stuff like that. But then I would take the same shot, but then have like something in the forefront or something in the background or something like off to the side. So the same photo, but it has a different feeling.
That's pretty dope.
That was my idea.
Well, I think you need to keep it anyway because in my mind, I take it for like shot for shot. Like you take a shot, I take a shot of alcohol. But then I also take it as like you take a picture, I take a picture, shot for shot. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah.
I like it. I think
cool.
it's fire.
I'll keep it fun.
I think it's dope. All
right, cool.
Hey,
and
you better keep that.
I still even like my portraits, I'll post like 2 pictures. So if you slide back and forth, they're
Yeah.
the same picture. They just look a little bit different.
Do you edit it different?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes it's all how I feel.
And wait, quick question. Maybe for people listening in who are curious as well, do you do a lot of editing on the pictures that you put out that you post? Or I don't really know in photography how that's supposed to go, or like how much editing is enough or too much. I don't know how that happens. So I know you said the ones we put out you lightly had edited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did lightly edit. Even then, like it still took like 6 hours to.
Holy shit.
Edit. Yeah.
Oh my God. It takes a lot of time.
It takes a long time. It takes a long time. That's
Oh my
why
God, I would never even know.
That's why when you hire a photographer and their prices are crazy high, it's.
Respect them.
Yeah. Dude, there's
Respect
a
the price.
lot goes into photography, a lot more than you think. I'm definitely guilty of that too.
Right.
Where I'm thinking, it's like, yeah, photography, I'm just taking a picture and that's it.
Yeah.
No.
You have to go through them, make sure you're picking the right ones.
Yeah, you're going through like 500 plus photos and you're trying to pick out the best ones. And even then,
It's a lot of pressure.
like you'll come out with like maybe 5.
Oh my gosh.
Out of 500,
But
maybe
we
5.
said it though. That's like good. I think we
Yeah.
talked about that on the night we did that shoot. Like if you take like 500 and get like a couple out of it,
So out of every 100 photos,
you get like a few, right?
you get at least one.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that's the rule of thumb. God, I forgot what we were saying.
So 5 out of 500, you're doing pretty good. We're getting a little lit.
Yeah.
You need your cup filled?
Yeah, a little
I got
bit.
you,
Yeah,
buddy.
thank you. Yeah. Oh, the editing. So the editing.
Oh yes, the editing.
The editing. I don't know if anybody or any other photographer does it this way, but I just do it off of feeling.
Okay.
I'm like,
So if you feel like it doesn't need that much.
yeah, or it's hard to explain. It really is. So I'll look at a photo. I'll go through the photos, and if it hits me like that same moment, as soon as I look at it, that's it. Right? Check mark. Keep going.
Yeah.
Don't like it. Nope. So until I get maybe a good handful, and then I go through that handful, really look at it.
You literally have to like narrow down your
Yeah.
contestants. You're
Yeah.
like, all right, number 1 is out.
And then, so it's a really quick thing. And then once I'm done with that, and I have my, I get, let's say 10, I have my solid 10 photos that I like. Then I'll look at them and just kind of stare at it. So why do I like this photo?
Right.
Why? Is it because of this, this, and this, and this? Okay, cool. What does it make you feel? What colors do you see in your head? Then I go off of that. Once I get the colors right, then I do the touches, the hair, the face, the skin, the eyes. And then once I'm done with that, I'll leave it alone. I'll walk away until the next day. So
Just to look at it again, like
I'll
a
look
fresh
at it
view.
again. It's like, you sure you want this one?
Yeah.
Nah, chill. Swipe it off.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Damn, what if you knocked off some winners? Yo, I'm still curious to see all my pictures. I want to see all of them.
Yeah, I got my laptop.
I want to see
here.
all
Yeah.
after the podcast today.
Yeah,
We
I'll
look
show
at
them.
them.
I'll show them. And it just, I kind of go off of that. And I tell everybody, it's like, oh, okay, so we're done with the shoot. Give me 2 weeks. Give me 2 weeks. In reality, I'll dump all the photos in the computer. I'll look at them. And it's not necessarily that I need 2 weeks. I just need 2 weeks to kind of sit on it.
But you can't rush art.
You can't.
It's
can't.
crazy. I didn't even realize till we were just talking the process of how much it is doing photography.
Yeah.
Like, I would never even thought about those hours that goes into it of
goes on-
contemplation.
You gotta look at the exposure, the highlights, the contrast, the shadows, the whites, the blacks. You got to look at the colors, the hues. You got to look at the saturation. You got to look at the noise that's in the photo, especially like night photography,
Yeah.
where in the camera, we'll put it as like artificial light.
Okay.
The camera creates artificial light. The more you bump up that artificial light, the more grain you get in your photo. Artistically, some people like that
Right.
because it kind of gives it that
Is
like,
this like exposure, overexposure type thing, or no? I'm off.
no.
Okay.
Because that's something different.
There's so many parts to
It's
it
a lot.
too.
It's a lot to learn. But if you like it and if you're really passionate, like you'll stick to it.
Like,
And
I'm not gonna lie, I had that camera and I never learned how to completely use it because there were so many fucking buttons.
Yeah.
I was like, and this is like a Nikon D3200. It's not even anything serious. And I was like, yo,
all the cameras
there's
are
so
the
many
same.
settings. Like,
There's the triangle, I guess, like trifectas.
Yeah.
Aperture, ISO, and shutter speed.
Yep.
And once you like learn that, learn that,
yeah.
then you're free to experiment. You're not a professional.
Exactly.
Now you can experiment. But when it comes to like editing, those are all like things you have to keep in mind. So you tweak and tweak and tweak and tweak and tweak, and it's all details.
And I don't think there's a right or wrong way.
No, not
Like,
really.
I feel like you can, there's some people who edit to make it like fantasy. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, they want it to look super
like
overdone,
the
or
purple's
like
a real purple,
Right,
and
right.
the reds are like really red.
or like they want it to be Kardashian style. They want it to be like perfectly photoshopped, airbrushed. You don't have a pimple on your face, like you don't have a hair out of place, like that type vibe. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
sure. And that's definitely not, I guess, my style.
yeah.
You know, I try to make it as real as possible. I try to make it as authentic as it can be, respectively.
Right.
Right, because I want to make sure the photos
Yeah.
that I'm taking, you like them too.
Yeah, of course.
And if you're like, oh, I don't like this, I don't like that,
Yeah.
I take notes. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, I'll make sure that those are like handled accordingly or properly.
And I think I don't know, like kind of based off what I was just saying, like I feel like there are different photographers too, where it's like they could be put in the place where if they were hired for a job, maybe they do have to over edit. Like maybe their clientele wants them
And that's
to be
happened.
intensely photoshopping
Yeah.
and whatever. And it's like you don't even have the creative rights to go and do what you want to do, make it look like natural how you want. It's like, oh, you have to do what they want.
And that's happened to me before. I've taken.
I was gonna ask you that, so
Yeah,
go on.
I got hired for a gig. She wanted a few photos for her business, and she told me, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this. All right, cool. I mean,
Yeah.
easy enough. It's
Yeah.
definitely not how I would go about it. But I'm not taking pictures artistically. I'm doing it
Based off the facts of what you want, like
right. This is a business thing. You want something. You're going to be posting these for a business.
Yeah.
So obviously, I'll do whatever it is that they want. So, and it's, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, it's easier that way.
Yeah.
Those like hired, like corporate or business photographs that I'll take, those are way easier than me doing something artistically.
Yeah. I feel
Because it takes.
Because it's so like set up. It's like, okay, you just want this basic,
Yeah.
like, okay, let me do this for you.
Oh, you want me to touch up on your skin? All right,
Yeah.
cool. I could do that.
Yeah.
Easy. Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like I think back to writing and when I did journalism, it's like, oh, if I was doing like a creative story that I want to make something up myself, I would have to go do the research, figure out all the facts, this and that, or otherwise, like my employer being like, oh, we want you to go cover this dog show. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
oh,
You don't want to, but you will.
I'm not joking. Like there was
you for real?
there was a dog event I had to go cover.
Lord.
Yo, you know Caesar the dog.
Caesar Milan?
Caesar Milan,
Dude.
Yo, I had to go see Caesar Milan at the
you
Lynn
really?
Auditorium.
That's so dope. That's so dope.
Wait, it was dope, but also this is so bad.
Yeah, go ahead.
I shouldn't even be laughing. It came out around the same time he was getting like dog abuse allegations.
Oh.
So I was like, oh, so I just have to go like cover his show talking about him having like dogs do like these little tricks and like all this shit's in the news about him. Like, okay. So sometimes as an artist, you have to do things that you don't want to do. And other times you get to do fun things. So that's cool.
Yeah. You gotta make sure you do those fun things too.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
like
you're-
never lose that spark.
Yeah,
Like even if
yeah.
you do get hired by a corporate company to do product fucking photography, like still go out on the weekends and take those pictures that you want to take.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
Like-
for sure. Even like for you, like, aren't you're doing, can I say this? A mural for someone?
Oh, commission painting?
Yeah.
Yeah. My Goku. It's the one I'm putting the video up of.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, someone hired you for that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But that's like a good, like, right in the middle because it's artistic, but you're getting paid for
But
it.
I get creative freedom at the same time.
Yeah.
Like he was like, oh, I would prefer more so these colors, but then it's like, when I put the video out, everyone's going to see. I'm actually going to drop a preview of it coming up probably by the time this podcast is out. So that will be fun. But yeah, it's cool when you have that, like somebody who wants something from you, a product from you or some sort of something, but they also are lenient. Like, oh, but you can kind of twist it how you want to, do it. Like,
and that's probably definitely a good feeling for you.
Oh, it was.
Because...
And especially knowing he likes it, I hit him up and he likes it. So hey,
because it shows that people fuck with your shit. Like people like your art,
right?
And then the fact that they're paying you is like, I really like your art. Do whatever you want. I want it.
Hey,
that's
true.
A good feeling.
That is a good feeling. I didn't even think about it like that. That's so true. And the thing is too, it's like with that specific piece. Man, I was so stressed about it. I was so stressed about it because it was such a big piece. And when you guys see the video, you're going to see like when the video starts, there is no color on the canvas. In the same day, I pretty much finished the painting. So you'll see me in 6 hours, but it's going to be cut down to like a couple minutes probably in the video. But like going from no colors on the canvas, not knowing what I'm going to do to just throwing paint on, having to jump into it and figure it out because we're doing a video. Yeah. So it's like, you kind of, there may be photography projects where it's just like, hey, you have to jump in, kind of just see where you go and what the vibe is and figure it out, It's so funny you say that because that's exactly how I go about my shoots. Yes. I know the location. I have a very loose idea of how I think I want the photos, but at the end of the day, as you're shooting, you don't know what you're gonna get. Exactly.
I just go off a gut. I go off my feeling.
Yep.
So you know what? I think, I feel, move like this, move like that. We'll just go over here. Going into it, I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen.
And like it could be less sunnier than you expected that day. It could be raining a little bit. Like you never know. Maybe it's too windy that day. Like. You have to work with the elements and... You
have to. Actually, a quick story. I lied. My second shoot was with Insta Sam. Shout out Sam.
Sam!
I was at work and I was watching the weather like a hawk. I was like, it's going to rain. It's going to suck. What the fuck, dude? Shit. Yeah. It's not what I want. And Sam was like, hey, I'm down if you're down. I'm like, fuck, dude. It's not what I want.
Yeah.
I mean, I already made plans with Sam.
I planned it so much. You know what? Like had everything.
And I'm pissed. Like I'm mad.
Yeah.
It's about to rain. I'm like, fuck it. Let's meet up anyways. We met, and those photos came out so fucking fire.
Really?
So I was so proud of myself.
Hey.
I'm telling you. Maybe I'm gonna show it to you.
What was like happening that day? You said it was raining?
It was cloudy. It was raining off and on. And then finally when I got out of work, like
the sun came
out.
It was like, Richie, you can do this.
And then that kind of showed me, it was like, just roll with the punches. Take the shot anyway.
Exactly.
Because you don't know where you're going to come out with.
No.
And you're going to look through them. And then maybe you won't like them, but maybe
you will. Maybe. By just a chance.
Something might come out of it.
Same thing with podcasting for both of us. Yeah. It's like you don't know what the fuck you're getting when you come to like when you have a guest on. Even you, it's like we know each other. We're cool. We've hung out multiple times, but we don't know what's going to happen. Yeah. Oh, shit. Those are dope.
I'm saying.
The color. You guys see it on the video. Sam, you look so beautiful. Oh, my gosh. Oh, I love that.
You know what I mean?
Was it fall? It was fall time. Fall. Yeah.
So I try to make sure that, like, all the colors.
Even with, like, if it was a cloudy day, whatever, the colors popped. Like, did you edit that a lot?
It was heavy editing. Mind you, it was like my second shoot.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
So it took me even...
I feel like I've never seen those. Are they out?
They're on...
They're probably like way back in the archives somewhere down there.
Yeah, they're definitely up. But I just, ever since that day, I'm like, just keep shooting. Just shoot. Yeah. Regardless of what happens, regardless of it's not coming out or how you planned it, keep shooting.
Exactly.
And ever since I kind of came up with that, I don't know, saying for myself, it's come a long way. Like even with podcast, just keep doing the podcast.
Right.
It's definitely not where we want it to be, but just keep going.
Right. Because where is it going to be if you stop? Do you know? And that's what I always tell myself. Like, because I get discouraged. We just had this conversation. I was having a bad day today. I was feeling very doubtful, very down on like my artistic endeavors, and like, you know, life gets in the way sometimes. Definitely. Like, it's not like all the time just because we come on here and we talk about positive things, and you know, every week I'm putting something out doesn't mean every week is a great week. It doesn't mean every time you have a photo shoot planned you're having a fantastic day. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to fight through those things and realize what's important to you enough to keep going. And this to me is important to keep going. And I feel like anybody listening in, like, I'm sure me and Richie kind of both feel the same. Like, if you have something creative that you love to do or something that's not creative, keep that shit up. Like, keep inspiring yourself, inspire other people. Like, just keep trying. Like, giving up gets you nowhere. If you're walking and you just stop walking, how can you make it to the finish line?
Church.
Can you ever make it to the finish line?
Yo.
No, you can't, because you're not moving your fucking feet. You feel me?
Hell yeah.
So,
hell yeah. That's dope.
Also Young World, we out here. We just want you to feel good.
My podcast, let's do it.
You already know.
Yeah, it's dope, man. And it's true what you say. Like, what if one day you get so discouraged you just stop?
Yep.
Then what?
Yeah.
What do you do now?
Right. And somebody said that to me. I was like, yo, I don't know why I'm doing the podcast. Like, you put so much time and effort, like Richie was saying about editing his things. Like, it takes like 6 hours for editing, even more, 2 weeks, going through things, going back to it, having to take another look at it, making sure that's really what you want, editing it, going back, rechecking your edits. Like, that's how I feel about doing a podcast. And you're always on, like, imagine putting out weekly. You're on a content time crunch. Like, now I feel like I get how YouTubers are. Like, it's like, yo, you always have to be on, like, you have to put content out on a certain day at a certain time. Like, that shit is stressful.
Very stressful.
But if you're putting out something positive that you feel good about, that is helping others, even if it's one person, like, if one person hears my podcast and it makes them feel better, I have done my job. If one person sees your photography and it makes them feel like, wow, that is so beautiful, or it inspires them,
I've done my job.
You've done it all.
I got it.
That's it.
I'm good.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Helping people with whatever creative or not creative avenue that you're in. If you're helping someone, I'm telling you, it's so fulfilling. It's so fulfilling.
It is. And like, I don't want to praise you or whatever, Richie, even though you deserve it. You're a very talented individual. But you did help me like gain confidence, because you're a photographer that I worked with that I wasn't like, it wasn't my friend Marlon. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've only really worked with, shout out Marlon O, like, he's been my only really photographer. So doing something new with somebody like you or my friend Jose or whatever, like, I don't know. It put myself in a position where I was like, oh, should I even be doing this? You know what I mean? But like, you were just so open and so welcoming as a photographer that it gave me confidence, where it's like, now I want to do another shoot with you. Like, I'm excited. Like, I want, like, I'm so excited for us planning this. And like, honestly, you don't even know. I want to text you like 5 times a week and I stop myself. I literally type things out and I delete them. Sometimes I'm like, don't annoy him. But yo, I want to be hitting you up about photography ideas, because you made it a fun thing for me, and I didn't feel like, I don't know, like, it wasn't a pressure. It was just like enjoyable. You know what I mean? That's what, if you're doing art, if you're doing something that you love, it should be enjoyable.
It has to be. It has to be fun. It has to be fun.
Yes.
Otherwise, like, I don't know, I feel like you just get in your head, or like you don't want to be there,
right.
Or it's like, oh my God, what is this dude doing? He's wasting my time. Like you have to have fun, period. That's it. Like,
yeah. And if you're not, maybe you should reevaluate what you're doing,
or how you approach
or the purpose that you're doing it for, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So
I agree.
Just thank you to you. And like, honestly, shout out you, Shot4.Shot, because
that made me feel good.
You know, I had to shout you out on air because you made me feel good, and you made me like, you made me see something in myself that like, it was hard for me to face before. Like, even a picture that where I was laughing and I was like, wow, I love that picture. But there were still things in it that I was insecure about, but I was able to look past them because it was so genuine of a picture for me. I was like, wow, nobody's ever caught me
like laughing
in a genuine laugh.
Yeah.
Like actually like me being able to see myself laugh. Like it's so weird to anybody else that would mean nothing. To me, it meant everything. You know what I mean? Like
That's dope.
It made me like
Dope.
myself more. It made me oh wow, like that's how I look when I laugh. Oh, that's what my smile looks like. Like, oh, like I've never seen it. Like I've always just like, oh, if I take a selfie, but it's like, what's a selfie? You know, or I put a fucking filter on it. What is that? Like, is that even me? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I feel like I got to see me, like a genuine me.
Ooh,
I know.
yeah,
So I just had to show you up.
Hell yeah. That's what I want. That's what I want.
Cheers. Hey. A Vibe Podcast Times, Old Soul Young World.
You already know the deal.
We already out here creating. You guys are just in it for the fucking... I don't even know. I don't even know what I was going to say.
I don't know.
You guys are in it to win it. We're all in it to win it.
So, you're going to start a new job, huh?
I am.
Yeah. So you quit,
it's very exciting.
You quit your job and...
So I quit my job on the last podcast we put out. I had actually like given my resignation that day. We had like got everything, the offer had been made. So I officially gone in school. I've signed the papers. And I'm excited. So your girl is no longer working 9 to 6. She is no longer working weekends. She's no longer working holidays. The genuine happiness of a Vibe Podcast has probably known this for a very long time because I've expressed it to you guys, but I've been so unhappy at this job, schedule-wise, just not being able to be involved in things. Like, we've tried to do shoots, I'm working. We've tried to have me come on a podcast to feature, I'm working. Like, it's always got in the way of what I want to do creatively. Mm-hmm. So, finally, we're doing something new.
Oh, yeah.
And
I bet you that's a good feeling.
It is such a good feeling, but the thing, I want people to know who are listening in, it is not a dream job. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not like I'm like, oh my God, I have it made. This is like, you know what I mean? I'm going to make 6 figures and I'm blah, blah, blah. This is about me having a schedule where I can incorporate my art even more so. That it's giving me time, because there's 2 different people in this world. There's people who they are very focused on money, and money is very prioritized, very important to them, which I respect. I appreciate the hustle, everything. Money is important to me too, and I will never say otherwise. But what is more important than money to me is my time. It is literally, and I will say that to anybody. People at my job didn't understand, why don't you want to move up? Why didn't I want to be a sales manager? Why didn't I want to do this, do that? What the fuck? Because of my time. Do you feel me? I don't want to be called upon when I have an artistic event going on and tell me I need to come into work on the weekend. No, like I'm good. Like I have other things that are more important. And I just want people to understand, listening in, it's not about ever, just don't settle. It doesn't mean because you're moving forward or you get something more, it's your dream. I'm happy I got this, but there's still steps for me to take. There's big things for me that are coming artistically with the podcast. Like, don't give up on your dreams, because this will always be my dream more than a 9 to 5, more than a 7 to 3, more than any job that I'm going to clock in on. Like, this means more. And I feel like you understand that. You know what I'm saying?
I relate.
And I don't know how much you want to put out there, but
I mean, we can get in and we can get into nitty gritty.
Let them know.
Yeah, okay. So recently, I quit my job.
Shout out to you.
Quit my job, and at the job that I was at, it was the best paying job that I've ever had. I had a pension plan and good benefits, and if I stick there long enough, I can move up the ladder. Like, I could have
promises.
Yeah, like definitely.
Yeah.
But you know what? Like kind of like what you just said. I was like, I'm not happy here.
Yeah.
Am I really going to be happy, clocking in at, whatever time and clocking back out 5 times a week, doing the same fucking shit every day?
Like a fucking robot.
Like, nah.
Here's my number.
Nah.
Here's my barcode. Like,
you know what I mean? And I told this to shout out Baldwin.
Shout out Baldwin, biz.
I was like, bro, I'm gonna quit. I'm quitting. Cause I can't handle being unhappy. I'd rather be broke and happy than anything. Like I've been broke before.
That's what I'm saying,
I've been broke before. I can handle being broke. What I can't handle is being unhappy.
Is being fucking depressed and not happy with what you're doing in life.
I can definitely like scrape up a few bucks and like.
But if your soul's dying,
like
what bucks can I scrape up for my soul? You feel me?
So the day that I told them like I resigned, I gave in my letter. I trust and believe I was petrified. I was very scared.
It's scary.
No more like weak. Like I'm not getting money anymore.
I've given my notice without a job before, so I know how you feel.
Yeah.
I have done this in the past, so
this is that's the very first time I've ever done.
Yeah.
But I tell you, the weight that came off my shoulders, I felt so fucking light on my toes.
I can imagine.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Like I have a good support system back at home. Like people will support me. My friends will support me.
Yes.
Like I got a lot of things going on.
100%.
You can find money. You can find money anywhere.
Yeah.
You can
like
make money.
If you really need to, go Uber Eats. If it gets to that point, like you can pick up a part-time job. But
I can do this.
Right.
I can do this.
Right.
I'm going full force in my photography.
Full
force.
That's fine.
I'm gonna be I'm gonna be getting McDonald's on the value menu like for a little bit.
Hey,
fuck it. You know what I mean?
I'll buy you some McDonald's. Yeah, I got you.
Hell yeah. But it's gonna be tough, and I'm willing to do it.
But that's the thing. It's about putting that effort.
Yeah.
How do you get further if you never try?
And
that's that step shit we were talking about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Are you gonna stand there? Or are you gonna keep trying?
Yeah.
You know.
You're just if you don't jump, you're just gonna stay in the same place you've always been.
Exactly.
You gotta. It's gonna be scary, but you gotta jump. Mm-hmm. You gotta jump. And I tell myself, it's like, why is it that I can't put in 8 hours of work into myself if I'm doing it for someone else? I know I'm a hard worker when I'm at work. I know I put in work because I get compliments all the time.
Yep.
Wherever it is that I work, I'm a great worker. So why can't I put that effort into myself?
Exactly.
So,
and you have to, take hold of that, take advantage of that, and work on what's best for you. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And like, ever since you stopped doing that, look at what you've grown. You're growing your portfolio. Mm-hmm. You're doing your photography. Like, whatever shoot that we have coming up, I don't know what it is, but it's gonna be fucking dope.
Shit,
you guys need to stay tuned.
I don't know either.
But it's gonna be fire. You know what I mean? Every shot for shot takes is pretty fucking fire. I'm not gonna lie. Here, finish this off, buddy. Trying to get Richie lit so he talks about all his problems. But no, honestly, shout out to you for even taking that initiative because it is so scary and so many people wish that they could do what you did. Not to say that everybody might have the means or support system that you have to be able to do that because, not everybody does. So, you were in a lucky position where people care about you and love you and support what you're doing in your art form to be able to push you forward to do this. And the fact that you're able to dive into it now, it is such a blessing. And I really feel like you're going to bless the lens. You're going to bless IG. You're going to bless everybody.
Thank you.
Follow Shot4.Shot.
I appreciate that.
No, for real. Yeah. I really see big things coming for you. Just, we can't close off our blessings. We can't be content.
Absolutely
we can't give in. It's cool because we're two different perspectives. It's like, guys, I wasn't going to say this, but I'm going to say it because you're so honest and vulnerable. You put it out there. But if I didn't get this job, if this job said no to me and I did not get this position, I was quitting my job. It was either going to be I took this job, I got this new job, or I quit my job and I did not have a job. So we would have been on the same page. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, just because I took this and I'm doing it for the schedule and better hours, it doesn't mean it's fulfilling my soul. You still have to have things outside of work. You need a work-life balance. You need things that you can focus on and be creative into. Don't Settle. Don't be a robot. Don't be a number. Don't just punch in and out and be nothing. You know what I mean? And we're two examples. If you need to take time and you need to build that for yourself and take time from your work and you're able to do that, fucking do that shit and build your work. You never know what that could be. In 2 years, that could be a whole business. You feel me? A whole business that if you didn't take that step, you would have never known. You would have never known.
It's true. It's very uncomfortable. Even now, it's kind of embarrassing to say. Like,
it's a struggle.
Half the time, dude, I'm running on E. My car is like half the time it's on E.
Yeah, I feel you.
I'm trying my absolute best to make this work, but I would not do anything different.
Yes.
I would not. Because
and that's the victory of it. You feel me? Like, you already won. Like,
I got a side hustle. I got a side hustle on the weekends. I'm doing few photography gigs. I'm selling merch.
Yep.
Sam, shout out Sam. Like, we did a maternity shoot. She sent me a few bucks.
Yes.
Like, there's ways to make money. You just have to find it.
You have to find, and you have to put yourself in the position to find it. If you're working all those hours, how do you even have the time to go out and find it? You feel me? It's like you have to choose one path or another. And you know, the fact that you chose this path, shout out to fucking you, Richie. Like, I cannot express it enough. I'm proud of you. I really am. Yeah. Like, and I don't know if anyone's told you that, but like, yo, so proud of you for even taking this step and trying to forge yourself and forge your career and forge your path, because you have a gift and you do have that lens and you have that eye. Yo, like
I'm about to get emotional.
Yo, he's gonna cry. I'm gonna make him cry. Episode 31.
Yo, I'm a Cancer. I'll start crying right now.
I'm an Aries. I'm like, yo, I'm emotional all the fucking time. Everybody knows. Look up my sign. I was crying this morning. But I really do. I really value you as a member, as a friend, as a photographer, as an artist, and seeing what you do, it inspires me to keep doing what I do.
And ditto, and sure, ditto.
For real.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like I told you earlier in the show, you gave me confidence. You gave me a newfound confidence where I'm like, yo, even though I'm not a model, because you don't have to be a model to take pictures. Everyone takes pictures these days. I do it for creative promotion. I do it because it makes me feel good. I do it because I want to. You know what I mean? Like, nobody needs to tell you why you do something. Like, you need to have your own reasons why you do it. Richie has his own reasons why he does this shit. Other people could come at Richie and be like, you're fucking crazy. You let all this go. You don't have this now. You don't have that. But guess what? I have all this shit. You feel me? It's like, what is more important to you in your life?
Perspective, yeah.
And that's what I talked about earlier. Money or time? You feel me? Is it money or time?
Yeah.
And if it becomes both, good for you.
Yeah.
But if you need to make that choice and your time is more important to you than anything else, take your time and make your art and make your craft. Because if I didn't get this position, I was going to quit my job to make my craft. And if you needed to make that choice to make your craft better, all the fucking power to you. You feel me? Like, that is such a strong move on your part. So I just want to shout you out 900 times, 9 billion times,
thank you,
9 trillion times, shot for shot.
Thank you.
I'm blessed that you came on my show tonight. That we even got to work together before, and like, I know we're planning something now. I hope that we're gonna continue that
For sure.
So the people can look for the pictures on JESSIE_E_LLY on IG.
Tell them.
And we got a shot for shot, SHOT.
Yep.
4. Number 4.
Period. Shot.
A.
Let's get it.
You know, and before we end the show, I just kind of want to ask you a question.
Ooh.
I'm sure you're aware of this question by now.
Shit.
Maybe you were expecting it, maybe you forgot about it. Who knows? But within yourself, I'm just kind of wondering, like, what you feel it means to be an old soul in the young world. Even if you're not an old soul in the young world, just how you interpret that.
Well, you know, it's funny. I was expecting this question, and I've been like racking my brains, like, how do I answer this? And I still don't have an answer. So whatever I say is just,
it's real.
It's how I feel.
Yes.
So I feel like the easiest answer is music. When it comes to music, to me, like first and foremost, like I'm definitely like I like hip hop and rap, like obviously, but listening to like old music, like jazz, like old jazz, it hits me in a way that I never thought it could. Like it hits my soul.
Yeah,
it hits my soul. Robert Glasper, like he's my favorite composer. He's so nasty because he's definitely like an old head when it comes to jazz, but then he kind of remix it, like that remix culture.
Yeah.
That you always talk about with a little bit of hip hop in it.
Yes.
It's so dope.
Jazz hip hop is my
It's
shit.
so dope. It's so dope. But I guess let's see. I feel like my soul has caught up with my age. So I've always had that kind of like, I don't know, it's so weird. Like
It's hard to explain.
it really is. It's such a good question too. It's such a good question. I've always enjoyed like feeling my feels.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever it is that I feel, I always try to dissect the why. And watching like old movies, listening to old music, or just even like looking at old photography or old like art styles, it always touched me in a different way. And I never knew why. But now that I'm at the age that I'm at now, I feel like it's okay to like those things because my soul has caught up with my age.
Hey.
So I guess that's my answer.
I like that answer.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope. Your soul has caught up with your age. So you feel like your soul's like 31 years old?
Yeah, for like the longest time.
You're like, damn, you just been waiting for me. No, that's dope though. And I appreciate that a lot. And I think that's the same thing with me in a way. It's like, there's just things when I see old school like pictures or like when you were talking about music, I think the dopest thing is that you related it to music because you're not even like, I don't feel like you label yourself as a musician. I feel like you are very musical and you have a lot of creative musical like within you, like appreciation and
For sure.
yeah, you know what I mean? Like I feel like
Definitely.
music is a huge part of you as an artist. But I think it's dope that you related to that because not a lot of people would see that a soul could be related to music. And it's like when I think about music and souls, Nina Simone comes to mind, Lauryn Hill comes to mind, Erykah Badu, the Isley Brothers.
Oh,
like, yo, like you feel me?
Isley
like,
Brothers all day.
the Isley Brothers, like, yo,
Whoa.
that when we're talking about remix culture, the Isley Brothers. So shout out my friend Sixto, yo. My friend Sixto was the one who put me onto the Isley Brothers, and I didn't know of them. He was like, Jess, how do you not know them? You listen to this hip hop. And I'm like, what do you mean? And he was like, these hip hop beats originated from the Isley Brothers, old school, like legit, like instrumental beats.
I'm telling you.
And I'm like, what?
I'd be listening to like just old school music, like especially jazz. And when I hear it, I'm like, they took a sample from this song.
Yo.
That's dope.
Yo, facts.
And it's happened every single time. And I fall in love with it even more and more and more.
And that's the dopest part because if you don't know about the old school, if you don't know about that type of music, you would never know that it was remixed. You would just think, oh, that's that artist.
Yeah, that's
you know what I
his
mean?
beat. Yeah,
Even today's day and age in hip hop and rap, like everything, like there are beats that are remixed from way back in the fucking day where it's like you guys wouldn't even know. So do your research. Look into that shit.
Absolutely.
Check out the Isley Brothers. You probably
know
don't
your
know who the
knowledge.
fuck they are.
Yeah.
I didn't know about 5 years ago. Shout out Sixto. He put me on. So don't be ashamed. Check out the old school shit.
Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, hell yeah. You should definitely check out Robert Glasper. Yeah, he's nasty.
I don't think I've heard him, so I'm
he's
gonna
good.
check him out.
Yeah,
Robert
I'll send you
Glasper.
like a link or something.
All right.
Yeah, for sure.
Please do. Jill Scott.
Jill Scott,
I just want to keep saying things. But that
dude.
is there anything else
even
I
like
throw out
new
there?
artists now, like her or like
Her is dope. Yeah,
I'm
she's like underrated. Yeah, that's the word.
I don't know if
Underrated?
she's underrated. That's the thing about me too. Like I like what I like, and I honestly don't care if anybody or the masses like it.
Yeah.
It's what I like.
Yo, can I just tell you though, I've seen that girl come out in live performances playing the piano, playing the guitar. I think it was the saxophone or something. She plays literally like 4 instruments.
She's crazy talented.
She's insane.
She was on like Good Morning America when she was like 10. And she was,
I didn't even know that shit.
She was like in New York, Good Morning. I'm pretty sure, I don't know. But she was playing the piano and she was doing a cover song of Alicia Keys.
What?
And she was killing it.
Damn.
Yeah, both her parents were there. It was crazy.
Oh, wow. I'm going to have to check that out.
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy. But I feel like that's the thing. It's like embracing art in general. It's like even embracing music, it lets you understand more about like yourself, to understand more about photography. Do you know what I'm saying? Like embracing music helped me understand more about my voice, to help me understand more about podcasting. I wouldn't be able to if I didn't grow up listening to old school jazz. If I didn't listen to Frank Sinatra and Billy Joel, I don't know if I would be as in touch with my soul as I am. Like there were things that I heard in those songs that like hit something, a chord in my heart that like woke something up. Do you know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I don't know how else to explain that.
No, I get what I definitely get what you're saying. And ever since I've learned that feeling, I've been chasing it ever since. I've been chasing it. Like actually every time I edit my photos, I'm listening to like old school R&B. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Simone.
Yo.
I'm like,
when I'm painting, it's all old school jazz, hip hop, jazz and hip hop mixed. Like, I don't know what it is. It brings something.
Like whatever it is, the song that I'm listening to, however it is that I feel, is translated into my edits.
Yo, that's how I feel about painting. Like I feel like the music I'm listening to goes through my soul. It gets like interpreted and it comes out in the colors that I use.
Your hands just
like,
do some shit.
Like I don't think the colors would be the same if I wasn't like listening to what I was listening to or whatever. Like, yo, I remember this painting I did. Sorry, real quick story. It's a Biggie Smalls painting. I put in the, it's like a cultural festival we have around this area every year, whatever. It's an international festival. You know it, the international festival. Oh, okay, well, it happens yearly. So it was like maybe like 6 years ago or something, but it was longer than 6 years ago. It was like one of the first pieces I painted by myself. So I went to art classes, but this was the one that I was like, yo, I'm going to try this by myself. I want to do Biggie Smalls. So it was like probably smaller than my computer screen, watercolor paper. And I was like, all right, so I did the sketch, whatever. And like we talked about earlier, I was using different colors. So like he has like a African-American skin tone. I'm using like the reds, the purples, the blacks, mixing it in with the oranges and whatever. It was one of the most beautiful pieces. While I was doing this piece, I did it in one sitting, drank a bottle of white wine and listened to jazz music. And like that was the vibe. Do you get it? Like that's the thing. It's like when you need to put yourself in an artistic space, don't let anybody else tell you how to be in that space. Like whatever the fuck you have to do to put yourself there, do it. If you listen to jazz music, do it. If you listen to trap, do it. Like I don't know what the fuck, but do it.
You ever seen that movie Soul? The Disney movie Soul?
Yes, I fucking love that movie. So
when he's playing the piano and he goes into the zone.
Oh my gosh.
I
swear I teared up at that part, yo.
I'm gonna be 1,000% real with you. I cried like 3 times.
I cried multiple times in that movie. I was like, say it first, say it first.
That's my favorite movie. Because it speaks to me so much.
So before I started working with you guys and before I was in a studio when I was recording this podcast in my room on my phone, I did it was like a soul movie interpretation, whatever. So I was talking about like what an old soul is compared to like the movie Soul, which was pretty dope. You know, it was very back in the day when I first started the podcast, but it's the example of just putting out there. That movie, like, they described what a soul actually is interpreted as in, like, physically, something you can see. Do you know what I mean? Like, they tried to put emotions into animation, which was crazy.
So beautiful.
Recommended, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
Dude. So
we
good.
love soul things here.
Shit.
But, I just want to shout out you, Richie, honestly, for everything that you've been doing, for putting your time into your art, for putting time into my art. Shout out Richie. He helps, edit my videos. He helps, do a lot of shit for the podcast, not only my podcast, but a Vi podcast. So I appreciate you as an artistic individual. And if anyone wants to reach out to you for a shoot or work with you, do anything with you, if they have ideas they want to talk about, is that cool?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, hit me up, DM me. It could either be, my personal IG, Shot4.Shot.
Hey.
Or it could be on the Vi podcast IG. Slide in the DMs, hit me up, let me know what ideas you got. We can make it happen for sure.
Can make it happen.
For sure.
His schedule is open. He's ready for some available shoots, except for mine that is already on the calendar. So you better back down.
Set in stone.
Half set in stone. We're still trying to figure out some location ideas.
We definitely want to do it.
We got this. We got this. Next week or so, we got this.
Hell yeah.
Maybe we'll drop the podcast, drop the picture after.
Maybe.
Yeah. We're trying to work something out.
Yeah, whatever, however it lands.
However it happens.
Yeah, for sure.
And, guys, I just want to say, listening in, me and Richie separately, we both have two different artistic paths in life. We have two different journeys that we're following. But I feel like in this weird way, our souls kind of are on the same journey. We kind of were in the same spot where it's like, we're either like fucking quitting our job or we're following our passions. And even though they worked out differently, we're still both following our passions. And I think that's the biggest thing for people to understand. It's never easy, no matter what path you're put in. Even for me right now, to continue to do a new job and continue the podcast and try to build myself, it's not easy. So just know, never give up, never give in, always be consistent. You know what I mean? Don't stop moving your fucking feet. Like, if we stopped moving our feet, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't have never met. A Vi podcast, Also a Young World, would never be crossed over. Like, this would not be a situation. So, I don't know if you have anything to say to the people before we head out, but
I'm good. Yeah, that was beautiful. Yeah.
Hey, we chopped it up tonight. We talked about a lot of photography shit. If you're a new photographer starting out and you have any questions, I'm sure Richie would not mind having a conversation with you.
Sure. Hit me up.
Yes. Like, we're all about building, guys. This is not like we're the only ones who are going to eat. Like, this is everyone at our table eats. And I remember, shout out Baldwin, he said that when I joined the podcast. We all eat at this table. You know what I mean? We all do this together. And so anybody listening in who is willing to do that or wants to do it, reach out to us. Like, we are willing to give you advice. Never give up on what you want to do. Never give up on your dreams, even if you're working hard. It's always about being consistent, moving forward, moving yourself forward, and never stopping. So, episode 31 here. We both wrap this shit up.
We out. That's a good one.
We talked about a lot. Guys, we're going to have a lot more going on in the next, coming fall months. It's crazy because August is ending soon.
Yeah.
And we're going into the fall fucking season. I love Halloween, but holy shit, that was quick. It's crazy. So we're going to have, so many more people on the podcast, different guests, different talent, people with things to share. Make sure you tune in, subscribe, add me on Spotify, YouTube, all that good shit. Google Podcasts, hopefully we won't get taken down for copyright things because we're going to stop using music. So I know, rolls eyes, Richie rolls eyes. But guys, tune in with me next week. Tune in with me every week to hear more about your soul, about things going on, about artistic ventures, and local people who are trying to make a change just like I'm trying to make a change. It's all about working together, moving forward. Here on Old Soul in a Young World with your host, Jesse Ellie.